Hi, today we're going to make some extra creamy truffles. You can decorate in a number of ways. So it's a very simple recipe, just calls for chocolate, heavy cream, a little bit of butter, and some vanilla. So we're going to start off by just finely cutting up some chocolate, 6 ounces of chocolate. I am using semi-sweet chocolate, but you can use a chocolate of your choice. I will say if you use milk chocolate, because it is so much softer, I would use less cream and maybe a little bit less butter. I'm going to pour half a cup of heavy cream into our saucepan, and we're just going to put it on the stove, heat it up to a very gentle boil. So we just want to see bubbles popping up. Now that our heavy cream has come to a slight boil, we're going to throw the butter into our chocolate. It's about 3/4 of a tablespoon of butter for this. And like I said, if we're using milk chocolate, you want to maybe use a little bit less. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pour this cream over our chocolate. It's important to know also that our butter has reached room temperature. It's not cold. And that's important because we need the heat from the heavy cream to melt all of this chocolate, and so we don't want a cold hunk of butter cooling it down. So we're going to let this sit just for a few minutes, just to let the hot heavy cream do its thing, and then we'll come back and mix it up. Okay, it's been a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. There might be a few pieces, maybe some of the larger pieces in there, but keep mixing them, they'll finish melting. So now that that's fully mixed in, I'm going to just add a little bit of vanilla. This is maybe 1/3 of a teaspoon. And we'll just mix that in one final time. It smells great. Very chocolatey, as expected. Okay, fantastic. This is looking really good. So it might seem a little liquidy now, but you have to remember that it's warm, and we poured some basically boiling cream over it. So it will have the right consistency once it cools down a bit. But before we can mold it or do anything fun, we're gonna have to put this in the fridge. Let it chill for about 20 minutes. Just I want it to harden a bit so that it's workable and that I can roll the truffles up into little balls with my hands. Now that we've let our truffle mixture sit in the fridge for about 20 minutes, you can see it's a lot firmer than what it was earlier, and we're ready to start molding it into shapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a teaspoon, and we're going to go ahead and kind of scoop little bits. This seems about right. Although you can make them whatever size you want, larger, smaller ones. Depends on how many you need, I suppose. So these are a little bit sticky, and as you can see, and so it's going to be a bit of a pain to roll them right now. So I'm just going to put them all on a cookie sheet, and we're going to pop that in the fridge for another 10-15 minutes. And what that will do is it'll allow the outside of the little mounds you just put together. Harden just a little bit so that they're not quite as sticky, your hands don't get as dirty, and then we can really quickly and easily roll them into little balls without making a mess. Now that we've let our truffles sit in the fridge for a little bit, as you can see, they're much more, they're much drier on the outside. The chocolate's not really sticking so much to my hands. So now we can make these beautiful spears, just like so. And of course you will get chocolate on your hand, it just won't be like super sticky and messy like it would have been if we started rolling them right away. And if some of your truffles are different sizes, don't worry about it too much, or pinch a little bit off of one and add it to another. Balance them out, it's up to you. Or you could just eat the ones that are too big. Okay, so now that we have these truffles rolled into these beautiful little balls, we get to do the fun part, which is, or the most fun part, which is to decorate them. And really you can coat them with whatever you want. You really ought to coat them because, you know, they do tend to be a little sticky otherwise. Remember, these are super, super silky, smooth, buttery truffles. So I've got a few options set up here. I have some chocolate sprinkles, I've got some cocoa powder again, and then I have some of these chopped up roasted hazelnuts, because, you know, chocolate hazelnut's the perfect combination. So I'm just going to go ahead, take these truffles one at a time and roll it in whichever topping you decide. Okay, and now we've finished rolling some of our truffles. Here's what they look like. Now it's the time to do a bit of a taste test. Let's see, let me find the smaller one. I'm gonna go with hazelnut. That one's my favorite. Oh, look how soft it is. Mmm. Wow. These are silky smooth. So much. And I think they might even be able to fix a bad hair day.